Hi, friend. Hi, beautiful people. This is Adebayo Adesega once again, and I'm here to bring to you the message of love. Yes, inspired by love. And I'm so excited to be in your faces right now. And, today is going to be so exciting. I'm going to be continuing in the series of the heart of the matter is a matter of the heart. I've been talking about this series for a while now, and if you check those episodes, there's so much educative content on that I've spoken about about the heart, and just watch those videos on my YouTube channel. So, but today I'm going to be delving deep into some issues. I think I talked about in the previous episode. I think the part 3. Yes, I talked about desire. So today I'm going to be talking about some of the pitfalls of actualization of our desires. I mentioned something the last episode. I talked about addiction. So addiction is one of the traps, is one of the pitfalls of the actualization of our desires. Now, first of all, you need to understand that for you to have a desire for something, then it is something that comes from within. It comes from within, and for example, if I desire to take a glass of water, I want to drink water, so the desire comes from within me, and I stand up, I take the water, right? I drink it. So desire is like it's a mechanism for starting action. So desire is that mechanism within us that helps us to get connected to life. I said earlier, desire is a mechanism for starting action. And also desire is that mechanism that helps us to be connected to life. So is that motivating force, that helps us to, get connected to life. It's that motivation. So desire is a force. Desire is a flow of energy. Desire is a pure flow of energy. In fact, desire can also be likened to pure consciousness. Desire, so we can't separate all these things. It's just semantics. It's just English. Desire, love, force, energy, they are the same thing actually. So but our perception has a way of distinguishing all these words. They are one, it's just one. But let's just treat it the way we perceive it. So we say desire. So desire is that motivating force that drives us into taking action about something. So first of all, there are some things there are some terms I'm going to be discussing here. Let me start from the background. First of all, we need to understand that the world that we are experiencing right now is not just as external as we think it is. It is actually internal. Once you start believing that the world is in you as much as it is outside of you, then it will help you to deal with this subject of desire, in the proper way. The world is actually in you, not actually really outside of you, as it seems. So I tell people that you don't have to complain about what is actually happening in the world right now, because you created it. I created my world. Well, I might have created it unconsciously. Yes, most of the times it's actually unconscious. But the day you get conscious of the fact that you are the creator of your reality, then the way you see yourself, the way you handle your desires, the way you see life changes. So when you see disorder in you see chaos in the outside world, now when you see it, when you perceive it in your outside world, that is a direct reflection of the chaos that is actually going on within you. So chaos out there is a result of the chaos within you. Now, one of the pitfalls to the actualization of desire is actually addiction. I talked about addiction in my previous episode, but today I'm going to be talking a little bit deeper about the power of addiction in the distortion of your desire. So addiction is like a trap. I've had my own share of some form of. In fact, the truth is, there's nobody in this world right now that does not have one or two addictions. That's the truth. But there are some extreme cases where there are some people that are into some form of addictions that they actually really want to get out of it. They don't know how to get. People really want to get out from some addictions that are not favoring their existence on this planet, and they want to get out of it. So today I'm going to be sharing with you some of the root causes of addiction. So the first thing you need to understand that, at the heart of addiction, there is this desire. There's desire, of course, desire is the topic for today, really, but there is this nostalgia for pleasure. So at the heart of addiction, there's pleasure. So one of the motivating factors that leads us into addiction is pleasure. You understand? So for me to desire something, then it means that I am pleased to get that thing. So there is a feeling involved in the actualization of that desire. So when I want to drink water, drinking that water gives me a feeling of actualization. Then we can't separate it from some release of chemicals from our brain or from our bodies. There's this hormone in the body called dopamine. There are different kinds of hormones. There's serotonin, there is dopamine. There's something called the neurotransmitters, and there's something called the neuropeptides. So an example of a neurotransmitter is dopamine. So some people call it the dopamine is like a feel good hormone. Now you want to feel good about yourself. It's a sense of fulfillment. So the actual issue about desire is fulfillment. You want to have a sense of fulfillment. So the point is fulfillment. So now the issue about fulfillment is we now tend to associate fulfillment with external things. So, like, if I don't have sex, if I don't eat, if I don't use drugs, if I don't do this, then I've not gotten that fulfillment in the utmost form. So we need to understand that first of all, you are a product, or you are pure awareness. You are that consciousness. You are that God. I've said that a lot in my previous videos. You are that God divinity in disguise of human flesh. So there is a yearning in us. We want to be one with that divine. There's this yearning in us for fulfillment, right? But for you to actualize that fulfillment, then the only way is to have a direct relationship or oneness with the divine that is within us. So once you get disconnected from that divine, that source of desire, that source which is God, that source which is infinite intelligence, or whatever name you want to call it, it exists. So once you are detached from the source of energy, the source of pure consciousness, then addiction sets in. So I can say addiction is a detachment from the source of pure consciousness. It's as simple as that. The day you start getting detached from that infinite source, from that pure consciousness, from God, as simple as that. For religious people, you say God, yeah, right? So your detachment from that God, from that source, then it leads to addiction. Now, what is addiction? Simple. Addiction is that distortion in the natural flow of desire. So desire is supposed to flow freely. But when there is a distortion, when there's a detachment, then there is a distortion. I hope that makes sense. So now the summary of everything is that we are actually trying to bring you to how to attach yourself or how to relate effectively with that source of energy. And what is that source of energy? Obviously it's God. Energy is one, but that same energy is finding expression in human form, in matter. You understand? So once you are disconnected from it, then addiction comes into play. So I said something earlier that fulfillment is the goal. Fulfillment is the goal. Our utmost desire is actually fulfillment, is actually peace, is actually joy. But now there is a conditioning, there's a programming that the world system has sold to us at an unconscious level. So we associate joy, we associate fulfillment to actualization of external things, material things, which is not bad. It's not bad. Pleasure, having pleasure is not a bad thing, really. But once you start adding guilt, shame to the actualization of that pleasure, then that's another problem. So there's something called divided awareness, and there's something called unity awareness of unifying awareness. Once you start experiencing division in that awareness, that is detachment, like I said the other time, then you start there's a distortion, and that is simply addiction. So because now you can't find that pleasure in that pure form, then you'll be looking for ways by which you can get that pleasure, from now, because from that natural flow. I hope you're getting me right now. So now, when you come to wholeness, my previous video, I think my first video, I was talking about wholeness. I said to be whole means to be holy. To be holy means to be one with the divine. Our bodies is not just it's a combination of different elements, organs, tissues, cells, and all these things. And each cell has a mind, each organ has a mind. We think that the brain is the mind. The brain is not the only it's not the mind, it's not just the mind. Yes, it's part of it, but every cell of the body has a mind, every organ has a mind. A very good example: no matter how much the president of Nigeria wants to implement something, he needs to first talk to the Senate, the judiciary, the legislature, the legislative or legislature or whatever. They have to come together and decide on the particular thing that wants to be passed across by the president. So the president cannot just wake up one morning and just talk about something that he wants to be implemented. No, there must be a dialogue. There must be wholeness. So, but when we start experiencing division, divided awareness within the body, then that leads to addiction. So the lungs, the circulatory system, the digestive system, they have different point of view. The brain is saying this is what we want to do. The lungs says no. The the digestive system says no. The gut say no. They have different points of view. And the truth is, all these systems, they are actually saying that they are actually being honest. They're being honest.